a real shame that we get sold this bill of goods. And I'm just trying to get people to think about, for every federal dollar that we get back in this state, if you get $10 back in a grant or something like that, how much money did it cost us to send it down there in the first place so that it could be, pay for that government employee to think up this particular program to now tell you how you're going to spend that money in that particular program?
I'll bet for your $10 you get back, I'll bet you it's 40 you send in.
No, actually, it's 14.
It's
So
only 14.
It's only 14.
Yeah, but they
we
only
get back about 70% in New Hampshire, and you know what? We're a donor state.
Right.
New Hampshire is a donor state, so you've got other states that are getting back 110% of what they send.
I had this great idea of how about we separate off from the union.
Oh, jeez.
And we'll take
Come on.
No, we gotta pay for our defense. We gotta pay for our defense. Let's figure out the percentage cost of defense, and we'll pay that for taxes. The rest we'll just keep here and
Oh,
work
well,
within our
I've got a
state.
better one, yeah.
And
Kevin.
then after we do that, we can.
I'm sorry.
I know. I've got a better idea, though.
Okay, let's hear your idea.
Yeah, let's see. We're here to listen to you.
You're running for Senate.
Right, well, 68% of our total budget is spent on health, education, welfare, and pension. Where is that in the Constitution that says that that's what central government is supposed to do for us, the states?
It's not. If you leave the money with the family can take care of their own people. Their welfare is, you know who deserves it and who doesn't deserve it. We've been saying that for years.
But Kevin, don't you think that one size fits all?
No.
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 So what are your thoughts?
Which is really to my point.
Yes.
Every individual state, we are the United States of America, not a United States government telling with individual states that we dictate to. So we need to go back to each state being a sovereign state, taking care of their problems, addressing them the way they would, so that New Hampshire's plan is not the same plan that Maine or California or New Mexico is going to use. It's the New Hampshire plan for the New Hampshire people. And so if we were to go into Washington and start pushing that plan back, we would be closing an awful lot of departments that are not supposed to be there in the first place, not part of central government. We'd be allowing the states to do what the states do best.
So what departments?
I can think of two right off the bat.
Education department.
No, I like her answer.
You're absolutely right.
I was thinking that one too. But.
Well, you look at the performance of these different departments when they were when the Department of Education was peeled off from health, education, and welfare, and brought into its own cabinet position. It was supposed to make us competitive, our children competitive in math and science worldwide. And we were up in the upper 10 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're way down. I mean, depends upon what group you're looking at. It can be anywhere from 22 or 25 or whatever down to the bottom of the heap almost, because we have not done that. How much money do we pour into the Department of Education, expecting it to get down to our children? And it doesn't. It all goes to administrative costs, almost all of it anyway.
So what's the other one?
So the other one is the one that keeps telling you how you're supposed to deal with your own property, the environmental protection agency. I think should go away. Definitely. I mean, if nothing else, those are the first two I would want to start with, because they dictate too much to the individual and doesn't allow us to do with our own property. I mean, look at the fiasco out in the western states where they're trying to, their state constitutions, or the way that they became states, said that the federal government had control over most of their lands. And in Oklahoma, that when that happened, the Oklahoma people said, okay, we're going to fire a gun, and you get on your horse and your buggy, and you go and you claim your land, and that's how they divided the land up. Well, that's not what happened in Utah. That's not what happened in Nevada. And you've got a lawsuit by Orrin Hatch in the Supreme Court now trying to decide, is this equal footing allowed by what the original intent of the Constitution was that the people would have the ability to build and have property on ownership, not have the federal government telling them how they're supposed to use their land.
What's this Constitution thing you keep talking about?
The Constitution of the United States, that was, our founding fathers wrote this document in 20 pages. This is, I think, is phenomenal. They set up a whole government in less than 20 pages.
I thought that was lost in change of administration. No?
No, it shouldn't be.
They still have that paper?
They still do have that paper, Kevin.
Okay.
Whether they pay attention to it or not is another story, but it is still there, and there are people, good patriots in this country, who say this is what how our country was founded, and we ought to go back to it.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So with your campaign, you're a Republican running for U.S. Senate in the New Hampshire primary. So you have to get through the primary first, and
Yes.
then it's whoever wins that versus Jean Sweeney.
Yes.
Unless somebody primaries her, which I don't see happening.
Scott Brown offered to.
So Scott Brown, you brought him up, not me. It's WCNL Radio Newport. That's the elephant in the room.
Yes.
That's the media darling right now. What is your response to Scott Brown?
I don't need to respond to Scott Brown. The people are already doing a good job of it. And you talk to the blogger at the counter at the Country
Kitchen.
Country Kitchen, thank you. Or you talk to the people on the street. Most of them aren't at all interested. They see him as a failed senator in Massachusetts, and they don't want him to come up here. But
What is that state he comes from? Begins with the T's and Massachusetts. Yeah.
yeah, where as a state senator you voted for Obamacare. I'm sorry, it was Romneycare. But I have to tell you, my sister actually lives in that state, and her, right after it happened, and they got that particular health care plan, which is not the same as the Affordable Health Care Plan, but it is a early rendition of it, and she said immediately her premiums doubled. And, and the thing we're hearing now is that the elderly are not getting the care they need. People who have an existing condition are being told you can't go to your hospital that you've been because it's out of state, you can't get the medication you need, you can't see the doctor you need because they're not in the plan. People are being denied as much health care as those who were not on it, who are being brought onto it. And then the person that really loses out in all of this is the guy who said, I didn't want it in the first place.